How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. They could say their names and what they do in the band.
I am Angelica. I sing and play drums.
I'm Randy. I play guitar. I program everything, multi-instrumentalist, etc.
Right.
Awesome.
Big night.
Awesome.
Yes.
So my first question, guys, this kind of struck me as something very interesting. You guys are obviously married. So how does the dynamic between you two as like opposed to having a band? I know like if you had band members, I'm sure there's a different dynamic with that, but obviously you guys are married. And so like, how does that play off of each other? And like, how did you decide to be like, did you want to do music together, like be in a band, do all this sort of stuff? To me, that interests me because it's like I don't really see it too often. So whenever I get the chance, I like asking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great dynamic because we share this really extraordinary dream together. You know, we're not sort of insular in our interests and passions. We get to have the same end goal in mind.
Of course.
So it's awesome, and we were in separate bands when we met, and I ended up joining with him. We had a couple of other members at the time, and it was it was just great because we instantly kind of like fell in line with it, and then like maybe a month after I joined the band, we ended up together, and that was about 12 years ago. So
Yeah, I mean, we started as a four-piece, then those guys quit. We went into a three-piece. And then when we moved to North Carolina, we decided to change it up. We started doing a lot of like YouTube cover videos, all that kind of stuff. And like she said, she used the word insular, and it kind of became very insular in that it was like just us doing things, and we didn't know we were going to get another couple of members again. And I'm like, you know what? From here on out, it's just going to be us two. And I think that adds, like you point out, adds to the dynamic. There's a whole different way of perceiving our band that way. And plus, it's a hell of a lot easier because there's only two people you have to worry about.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Both monetarily, opinions. There's not too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
we it's pretty cheap living in the town we're in. So, I mean, we have a great house together. We don't have kids. We have an entire room dedicated to music, and then we have an entire room dedicated to the studio.
Rehearsal's a couple of steps away from the bedroom and the bathroom.
We can play every day. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. So
it makes it easier, and I mean, we, crazy about each other, so it kind of works out really well.
And also, I think the big thing to think about too is like when we came to, I don't want to say notoriety. It's not like we're huge or famous or anything like that, but like, when people came to know us after we got like our deal back in 2011 and stuff like that, we started getting some notice on us. It was always the core of the band was always us. I always wrote the stuff, mostly her voice. That was what people thought of first. So it's kind of like it really hasn't actually changed.
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the music, the soul of the band. So yeah, and here we are, and we're happier than ever.
Heck yeah.
There you go. I thought like that was kind of the first thing. Like I had found out about your band like a while ago. I think it was like a cover or something. And it was just like a Facebook like promoted video, and I was like, let me check them out because there was only like I think there at the time I think you only had like 4 or 3 members at the point of recording, and I was like, this is interesting. I like it. Let me see where it goes. And I think it was like when you first got signed, and I was like, this is really interesting. Like I like the dynamics between like just the whole band in general. And then when you guys were saying like, oh, well, now we're a 2-piece and we're doing it, and I was curious to check back and be like, how are they been like? How have they changed it up? Like has the dynamic like remained the same or very similar? And I felt like it was definitely on par, if not like more interesting now because I think just with the added benefit of like you guys being married and just like seeing that like you guys bond over music and stuff like that, I thought it was really cool to like see that you guys are both equally as passionate and kind of like pushing each other to drive to like do something with the music and stuff. And I think that's more so than anything, what got me back into it, not to say I like dropped off completely, but I feel like this definitely kind of like sparked my interest again. And I was like, I wonder if they'll message me back about like doing an interview and stuff. So I was like stoked when you guys like hit me back up again.
Oh, heck
Yeah,
yeah, man. No,
yeah.
we're happy to do it. You know, we love this kind of stuff.
And
So.
thanks for saying that. I'm glad to hear that kind of feedback. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
It tells a little different story to
Of course.
people,
Yeah.
you know, and we're embracing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
I would say now, being a two-piece, we're able to be a lot more prolific because we don't have to get other people on board with learning the songs,
Yeah.
B, hey, do you guys like this song? Is this something you want to play? Does it match up with your vision? You know, it's like
Well, content, putting ourselves out there and everything.
right,
Yeah.
right. So we're able to be a little bit more rapid fire with the kinds of things that we
Yeah.
want to release. You know, because it's like, all right, well, let's get it done. There's no wrangling of
There we go.
other people's agendas, and
Yeah.
it works out pretty darn well.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Well, keeping on with the music related stuff, I know the interesting thing for me, because I haven't seen you guys play yet live, like, you know, how is the like dynamic live? Is it you guys together and then you have like a backing band, or is it primarily just you two doing
Just us.
doing us?
Yeah, just us. You know, we have a whole full light show.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a sort of we always have, but it's that's definitely something different. I think people are a little more like, what's this gonna be? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, man, it's a cool thing. It's working out.
Yeah.
There you go. I feel
Yeah.
like you're, you know, embracing the like White Stripes, like Two-Piece, like 68 is another band that I think of, like Two-Piece band, like just those sorts of bands where it's just the drummer, like everybody does like more than one thing and it has like a unique dynamic live. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you guys make your way up East Coast a little bit more, and I'll have to come check you out.
We're both from Connecticut, so you know those East Coast tours were always kind of our jam, you know.
Yep.
There we go. Awesome. Well, speaking about, you know, either past or future or present touring, what are some favorite venues you guys like to play at or catch a show at in your free time?
Oh boy, well, as far as venues we've played at, back up in Connecticut, unfortunately, it's defunct now, but there was a place called The Space, which was fantastic for bands, not only bands that were cutting their teeth and kind of getting themselves out there, but for well-established acts that could draw in quite a lot of people. And that place was open for, my goodness, 15 years perhaps. And he and I both played there separately and together for the duration of its existence until we moved down here. So there was that.
A lot of memories there.
A lot of
That was sort of
memories.
home base for a while.
It really was. There was a place in Florida. What was that place called with all the video games?
1984 bar.
1984 bar. That place was great.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun there. We where else?
Well, you know,
Eastern Seaboard.
Baltimore. What was the?
Oh yeah, there's a place in Baltimore. It's kind of like a two-room venue. There's a smaller stage area, and then there's a kind of larger
We
main
played
stage.
both. Both shows were great.
Yeah, it was like standing room only, phenomenal. Turnout.
That was awesome.
I'm trying to remember the name of it.
There was one we always talk about in Louisiana. I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, it's gone.
Why can't I think of the name of it?
MVC. MVC.
Yeah, it was an all-night tattoo shop.
Interesting.
And then a venue, and it was a trailer though.
It was like a double trailer.
Yeah, with an overhead door that led into the venue.
No AC.
No AC, and we played there. Yeah, we played there in August.
Yeah, it was like August 22nd or 23rd.
So
it's boiling lava.
It's just baking. It's just baking.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I was able to wring out the shirt I was wearing on stage.
Oh, man.
I'm a very short person, and the ceiling was so low, I was able to grab onto the rafters over top of the stage and hang from them.
Good.
It was just insanity.
Kids showed up. You're going,
great,
what's this going to be like? And
it was in the middle of nowhere, too.
Yeah.
This was like bayou living. Guys telling us about his friend who sutures roadkill together. And I'm like, okay.
There was a 35-year-old shark fetus in formaldehyde.
Oh my
It
God.
was a shop. That's real sanitary.
Yeah, so.
It was weird, but it was a brilliant time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of great stuff like that.
Sometimes the strangest venues bring out the best memories, you know. I always see, like, I'll see some like small like hole in the wall shows in New Jersey, and I'll be like, I'll drive up to the place and I'll be like, this is super sketchy. Like
Yep.
I like if I don't make it out, like I understand, like it makes sense to me, but sometimes I'm just like, but then I'll like go to the show and I'll be like, man, this is great. So
Yeah. Sometimes it's really the best stuff.
Are you in Jersey?
I am in New Jersey, yes.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Dingbats. We played Dingbats
Yes.
before.
Yes,
Dingbats, yeah.
a lot of fun.
That was fun. But what was the other thing? It was like a gaming center, and they had a show in the sort of like rave room or whatever.
Is it Game Changers World?
This was back in like 2011 or 12.
Oh boy, yeah, that I know that would have been around at that time. I know they closed it
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe a few years ago, probably longer, but that one's the one I can remember. So I don't know if it's the same one, but could
Okay.
very well be.
It was great. It was big. It wasn't like a great show, but you know what's funny? I remember we got paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
That's
like,
always a good thing, right?
Yeah, it was like $500 for like. I was like, dude, there's like, I don't know, what, like 50 people. It was like, yeah. I felt bad almost. I was like, okay, that was a guarantee. Okay, but.
Hey, listen, you take what you can get. That's how I
Yeah,
say.
exactly. This isn't exactly a high-paying
yeah.
job.
There you go.
Venues down here, some of the really good ones that we like to go to. So we just went to a show at Amos' South End in Charlotte.
Nice.
Yes.
Just reopened, actually. It had closed down for a while. Absolutely beautiful venue. It's got like there's like a balcony area that runs around 3 walls of the venue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, decent sized stage.
Great sound.
Really good sound. There's of course like the Fillmore and the Fillmore Underground. Those are a little more corporatized, but they're decent.
The Underground is pretty like helpful to indie bands.
Yeah,
So that's
they
cool.
do a lot of like free shows there, which is really cool. And
That's
there's
cool.
a lot down here.
Yep.
And then like up in Greensboro, you get like the Blind Tiger,
Yeah.
Shiners. These places are actually like you end up getting this fantastic sound, and you know you get a packed house a lot of the time, and it's really
Yeah.
cool. So there's some great venues
Some
down
cool stuff.
here. Yeah. I wasn't sure when we moved down here. I'm like, what's it gonna be like? But it's
better than
really-
expected.
Yeah, way
Yeah,
better.
my family's moving to South Carolina in the next month or so. So
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping to get like some South Carolina bands or whatever, just to kind of tell me like what are some venues I need to go to, like if I go to visit them, like where should I go to go see
Yeah.
a good show, you know?
Well, we can recommend a lot.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. Next
Yeah, you're
question.
surprised, like how you move through the states up here pretty quick, or down here pretty
Yeah.
quickly. Because everybody does like 80 miles an hour on the highway. So you get to North Carolina in like 4 hours. It's pretty impressive, you know, considering how big it is compared to like northern states, which are like postage stamps. So it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Next question to kind of follow up the venues. What was the last show you attended that you didn't play? I think you kind of answered it, but
Just last night we attended this band Sun Texas, and they were playing with Killicoy and Scars Remain, and that was pretty cool. So we went to that last night, and then the night before we went to a like Tool tribute band and it was also a System of a Down tribute band.
interesting.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Not bad. Yeah.
Awesome. Next question, the big one. What are some of your musical influences? Who do you guys draw from?
Oh boy.
Jeez,
Oh
jeez.
yeah, this could take a while.
It's okay though. We got the time.
Okay, so why don't we go with like what's most, I don't want to say obvious, but like for like where we are now.
Yeah.
Right? Because this could take all day, but let's start.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, we can name some of the big ones. You know, like we'll get Rush out of the way.
Yeah. Rush was big for both of us. Dream
Classic.
Theater.
Rush, Dream Theater, Depeche Mode.
Yep.
All that stuff for the songwriting and making sure you capture a mood and a vibe. That's what we learned.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of current stuff that influences what we do. We'll be honest. Obviously we kind of we got known for being a metalcore band. We moved into electronic music a lot, and electronic rock and everything. And now we're kind of coming full circle back into a metalcore kind of thing with like an alt metal, active rock, 3 Days Grace kind of vibe. But also there's some progressive elements in it.
Yes.
But in doing so, we really are very bored by most metalcore. I am very, very bored of chug, 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 super tight. brutal with 2 zeros and a 4 can really we're good. All that needs to be made with that is made, I think.
Yeah.
Having said that, the newest Northlane.
Yes.
Northlane era.
Yep. Neon, especially.
Neon
Yeah.
Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Dude, those guys are extraordinary. We're actually seeing all 3 of those bands in September together.
Yes.
That's going to be
Yes.
Ginger.
Ginger is huge, especially
Yes.
for me. You know, Tati is just an extraordinary vocalist, and their drummer Vlad is one of the best I've heard. In terms of like bands that are kind of bringing something a bit different to metal, those are the bands that we feel are kind of breaking some ground, because you're at the point now where it's like you can get none more heavy.
Yeah.
So
True. You're right. That's true.
Folk.
Myrkur, out
Oh,
of
nice. Yes.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Great, right?
fantastic. Again, bringing something different to the table, because you had that kind of black metal thing for a while that seemed to get a bit stale. People are like, all right, we've heard it a million times, and then she storms in playing these ancient instruments and being this Earth Mother goddess, and I was completely captivated by that.
Yeah.
What
What else is current? I mean, Under Oath was a big influence on us for a while. I happen to be a fan of their latest record. I like songs. For me to really stick around for a long time, I really do need hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it just that captures me, and I like how they're taking more of a mature songwriting direction with their energy. I'm not going to say I feel it's been successful on every single track, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I really like where that's going, especially what's the first one? On My Teeth.
On My Teeth.
On My
That
Teeth,
was
yeah.
that was such an incredible.
Yeah, I really feel that. But yeah, those are current guys. I don't know what
As far as past stuff, some of the there's Metallica. There's I've been listening.
the easy ones.
I've been listening to a lot of Carcass lately. I really love Carcass. I'm excited. They're putting out some new material kind of soon, and I'm really stoked on it. The drummer that they have, Dan Wilding, I believe is his name, is stupid good. So really excited about
the latest
that.
Architects.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of everything they've done, but I like the latest.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah, we really like a lot of groove in metal too. Like I like Polaris.
Yes.
they're
Oh yes.
Kind of, not really like jump beats, but you feel like your whole body wants to move to it instead of just headbanging. So
Yeah.
I think bringing groove.
Nothing more. Nothing more.
Yes. Nothing more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big on Nothing More. Yeah, I think a lot of the songwriting hasn't been as strong in the past few years in that kind of realm, but Nothing More really they bring it home. 3 Days Grace, the latest 3 Days Grace.
Yeah.
Like The Mountain,
Yep.
all that stuff. That's great.
Some great songwriting on that.
Yep. One of my favorite records that still to this day influences what we do, Seven Dust's Seasons.
Nice.
Mm.
Yes. That's a classic.
Yeah, love that new metal songwriting.
Yeah.
It's right there. I don't know.
Those new metal bands, Slipknot and stuff
Yes,
like that.
yeah.
I'm a huge Slipknot fan. They get such a bad rap because everybody kind of associates it with like the ICP types, and like
Yeah.
they're wrong with the crowd that likes ICP and the crowd that likes new metal. They're incredibly passionate, and some of the songwriting really was fantastic. But they get lambasted because it's not like real metal. And what's real metal these days? Metal is an ever-changing genre that needs to be constantly changing, or else it stalls out. That's why thrash got boring after a while.
Yeah.
People got over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has to keep changing, just like every other form of music. I mean, at one point the Rolling Stones were considered pop, and now it's relegated to Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
So, you have to have changes in genres, and that means that sometimes the genre you hold dear isn't going to, spawn something that you love quite as much. So, of course, the true cult types hated new metal, and I'm like, wait a second, there was some fantastic songwriting,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
great stuff. So,
Yeah.
unabashed new metal fan over here.
Yeah. Totally.
I find that especially for a lot of the bands that I hold dear, like I feel like people always like jump to the conclusion of like, oh, if the new album's not good, like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be a fan of them anymore. And
Yeah.
that always bothers me because like as somebody who has been curating music for the better half of probably 10 years now or more, I just feel like if you could still listen to the old stuff. Like the old stuff will never go away. You could listen to it as many times as you want. And there's some albums, like for example, we were talking about Under Oath. Like I didn't really like the new direction of Under Oath, but I'm glad that they are still making music, that they've made up what problems that they had, and they're still being musicians and still want to do music and still want to tour and do all that stuff. And I think as much as I might not like the new record, I still bought it. I still want them to be a band that continues on because I love, Define the Great Line. I love They're Only Chasing Safety. And, not to say that they will write another one of those, but I think just to kind of continue, like you were saying, creating and evolving and trying different things, I think as people who like music and are patrons of music need to kind of still, even if they don't necessarily believe in it, I think they should still support the art and support the creation of creating new stuff.
I love that philosophy. It's almost like you take a position of having responsibility as a conscious listener.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because even if like you don't like the new Under Oath, that could be a stepping stone to something you love.
Yeah.
And if you take that step, you might not have gotten that new thing together, right? Yeah. So I love that. That's a really cool point of view, man.
Or it's like another band that like spawns from that band. Like,
right.
Like somebody who had been influenced by that band is like, oh, I like that record, and then they decided to make something like unique that had been influenced by that record. And I think that that's even more so important because, like, again, I might not like it, you might not like it, but somebody out there that's creating music or just starting to create music might really love that record, and they might make something really cool in the end that has spawned from that. And so I think that for me is way more important than if I like the record or if I feel like if people because people have opinions, and that's cool, and that's the whole reason why we all do this sort of stuff. But it's crazy.
It's the understanding that the appreciation of music is going to always be subjective. It's rare that unless somebody is just purposely putting out something that they're trying to make bad, like how Tommy Wiseau tries to constantly remake The Room, as it were, or Birdemic. He made Birdemic 2 intentionally bad. Then it's objectively bad because that's what they were trying to do. But, for instance, I'm not a Kiss fan. I've never been a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to deny the fact that what they contributed did something for somebody that probably became something I loved.
We wouldn't have had Pantera if it weren't for Kiss, because they used to be a Kiss cover band, right?
Yeah. So,
come on, Pantera.
It's like everything can inspire somebody to do something, even if it's not something that you love. It might have inspired somebody to do something that you do.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So I think that's the most important thing. Without bands creating, you can't have other bands that create. Everything is always going to stand on the shoulders of something that came before it in some way.
Yeah.
We don't sound like the Doobie Brothers, but I love the Doobie Brothers. It inspired me to want to be a musician.
No, you couldn't say any better than that. That was really well done. Yeah.
And I think your philosophy, like you said, of wanting to support these bands to make sure that they continue to create is, as he said, like responsible. I think these people that sort of write off bands who change it up a bit because they don't like it, they'll say things like, "Oh, this band's a sellout. Oh, they're jumping." But what's more selling out? Following an inspiration that made you want to create again, or simply releasing what your fans want to hear, even though you can't stand behind it anymore. Yeah. To me, that's way more of a sellout move.
Right, yeah.
Right. So what Under Oath did was brave. I do love the record. Not front to back, but there are songs on it that I found incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
And I'll defend it to the death.
There you have it.
Yeah.
I will also stand with you on that, because we were saying, it was just like it's crazy how people like write off certain things because they are like, oh well, it's not my taste or whatever. And I
Right.
think for myself, like this year, I've been doing this for a little over 3.5 years, and every time I think I get something new, like via email or somebody sends me something, I always try to think like, I'm going to try something different. Like, even if this is in my wheelhouse, I want to go into it. And even if I'm like listening to something that's more like indie or whatever, and, I'm more of like, I like the heavy stuff. I like more like post-hardcore, that sort of stuff. And I'll go into it and I'll be like, let me listen to it. Like, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, but at least I'm giving myself the opportunity and like the openness to try something different and like to experience something, because again, you never know, you might like it a lot more than previously known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could even like kind of grow on you.
Yeah.
But I keep trying seaweed salad, I want seaweed salad, but I really want to like seaweed salad. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a try.
I'll convert it one day.
Someday.
There you go.
We're hopeful.
Awesome. Next question, guys. We kind of took it on a long rant, but I always love those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
who have you been jamming recently? I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but like, who's on your Spotify, Apple Music? Who have you been jamming recently?
Oh,
You with the Carcass.
Carcass, big time.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I kind of recently, very recently, within like the last week, started listening to Ghostmane.
Yes.
Was not expecting to like it because I'm not a fan of trap beats. I don't like and it be incredibly overused, but he's doing over top of it. Same thing with Scarlord,
Yeah,
another
Scarlord,
one.
Yeah.
And so great workout jams. But yeah, I like where they're taking hip hop. There's a weirdness to it that's really resonating with me, and there's a darkness to it. It's not just the same, girls, cars, money kind of stuff. These guys, butts. They're talking about real stuff. So it's cool to see some new direction there. So Carcass,
butts are
Ghostmane,
cool.
Scarlord. Exactly. Yeah, but we don't
Butts
need
are
to.
cool,
We
bro.
have enough songs about butts.
Yeah. We do?
We have no songs
We don't
about
have
butts.
enough.
Should we write a song about butts?
I don't know. Let them know in the comments if they should write a song about butts.
Yeah.
Poll. Butts?
There.
Yeah.
All right.
We could do a sort of remix a lot. Waka waka.
That was great.
What about you, Randy?
Well, yeah, the latest North Lane stuff is cool. She said Scarlord, Era, Crystal Lake. That's sort of the more recent stuff. I just discovered this band from Canada called October Sky.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Not a lot because I've been wicked slammed lately.
Yeah.
Been pretty freaking busy. We have a lot more. We're getting a new single out soon. We're working on another new video. There's a lot of concept stuff. So like the past I'm gonna say 2 months, my recreational listening has gone way down. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
But,
I do.
yeah, right on. Yeah. But yeah, I guess those bands would probably be what I'd say.
I have a band for you guys to check out. They are also from Canada, and I know that you mentioned Ginger as well as like North Lane Era, so I feel like this would be definitely in your lane. They are called Spirit Box. They are
Yes!
out of
Yes!
Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't heard about them, I'd be surprised
Yeah.
because I feel like they're very much in that lane of what you guys were talking about. So
They are. Yeah, I knew about, that's Courtney LaPlante, I believe.
correct.
And she was singing for I Wrestled a Bear Once
Yes.
after,
Yeah.
what was the girl's name? I can never remember the first one's name. I'm terrible. I wasn't really into the original
Same.
iteration of them, but when Courtney LaPlante came in, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, it went in a slightly
Yeah.
different direction, better melody.
I think that her screams and the Spirit Box gal screams kind of sound similar.
Yeah, there's a little
Yeah.
bit of like just a little more, not so much vocal fry.
When I first heard him, I was like, wow, I've never heard anyone that sounds very similar to her. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we like them actually. They're pretty good.
Yeah, the riff is crazy.
Yeah, and it's not just like riff salad, which is cool.
Well, it's
like
kind of riff salad.
a little bit.
That's
There's
the,
more to riff for it,
that's
yeah.
the thing, yeah.
I
No,
do
that's
like
not a-
I do like a good riff salad though. That's like
Well, yes, man.
Big
You know?
salad.
Big salad.
Big riff
tomatoes,
salad.
big
sauce,
riff salad.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Next question. a fun one, and it kind of tails back to like your earlier lineage. But if you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Oh, I'm gonna say "Rush" by Depeche Mode. Do kind of a metal rendition of that.
We've talked about that for a while. Tears for Fears, Elemental.
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, see, because we did, as you know, we did the cover thing for a long time.
Yes.
And the reason why we stopped that was because, well, we never really set out to do that. It was more of an experiment, which worked. And when it started working, when we got more subscribers on YouTube and stuff, we're like, we don't really want this to work anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we set out to do.
It's really hard to create a video every 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, it's not even just that. It's like you become a Vegas act because people are like, oh, do this next, do this next. And we started to like listen to them and do that. And that's why we covered a lot of Skillet. Truth be told, we don't necessarily really love Skillet, but we're like, we'll do it for you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's one of like our most played videos. We almost have 300,000 views on the thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
We made decent money off it.
And we had some fun with it.
Yeah, we totally did. We learned a lot.
It's beyond fun for us.
Yeah, we learned a lot about making videos. But it's like when we think of covering songs now, we're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, I can see that. Like,
yeah, if we're gonna cover something, it's gonna be something that we're doing it as a labor of love. We do it because it's ours.
But let's say we're grateful for the attention we've had.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't regret doing the covers at all, and we did have a lot of fun with it. And again, like Randy said, we learned a lot. I mean, all these videos that we're doing, you know, with the exception of I think maybe like 2 times in the last 5 years have we had 3 times, two that we've had help on a video shoot. Otherwise, it's just him, you know, and. You know, it takes an incredible amount of time. So at that point, you know, you start to feel like your originals are suffering. And before I did the band, I was in a band that started as an original band and became basically just a cover band. Eventually, the success means nothing if it's not success in what you want to be doing.
Right. Yeah.
So you know, next cover we do, it's got to be something that's just for us.
Just for us. Having said that, those 2 songs we mentioned were ones we thought about doing for a while. That clearly no one would really know.
Yeah, but we'd have.
We would make our. Stamp on it.
I kind of feel like the same direction that you guys were kind of going in at that time was like what Our Last Night is doing now, where they like you know, where people, I'll like watch some of their cover videos every once in a while, and I'll see like comments and be like, you should do this song or you should do this song, and I'm like, man, that must suck. Like I mean, just from like a fan perspective, I'm like, I like their original stuff. However, I'd say it probably hasn't been as great currently, but I mean, like, they do some really fantastic covers to cover, you know, balance it out. But I always think to myself, like, you know, if you're a band, like, and your most popular things are just like a bunch of covers, that kind of is like, that hurts me as like somebody who's just like, okay, you only check the band out because they did a cover of Justin Bieber, or they did a cover of Ariana Grande or whatever, and that's great, they do make it their own. But at the same point, I'm like, if you look on like Spotify, it's like all of their covers, and then they have maybe like one original song that everybody cares about, and then it's just like that hurts for me as an artist that's been following them since, like, you know, very early on. And to see them do like covers and stuff, I feel like it's good, but also at the same time I feel like it hurts like some of the older fans. They're like, you know, like, we like your music, we'd like you to maybe focus more on the original stuff, but I mean, we understand that, at least on my perspective, I can understand like doing the covers helps them create a more original content, hopefully.
See, it's a double edged, because on one hand you have millions of views on a cover, but you go to the originals, and while I would like to have the view count that they have there on their originals, but compared to what they get on their covers, it's abysmally low.
Yes.
And it just gets eaten up by the morsels of, you know, covering a song that they know is going to generate a lot of views. It leaves your originals sort of by the wayside in a lot of ways.
Yeah, when we started, the other thing we thought would happen was people that listen to the cover would come over to the originals. We knew it would be a smaller percentage, but the fact is, on YouTube, that really doesn't actually happen that much. They come for the covers, and that's all they're really staying for. And I think Finn McKenty just had a new video. Did you see this, where he talked about this?
Yeah, I did. Shout out to him.
He was just a cover band at that point. That's what he said. He said the same exact thing. And he showed the thumbnails, like the originals, like the view count's way lower, and the covers are. So it doesn't. People think, do a cover. It'll get more attention to your. It kind of doesn't.
It's kind of like when Taco Bell tried to sell pizza.
But the thing, right,
For a taco.
bring them in for pizza. It's like, well, then, yeah, what are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But the good news is, for that, and this is probably why they're doing it, is it makes them money, and it's made us money.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
They probably make a decent amount.
Yeah, not nearly on the scale they make, but that helps, because then what we can do is we can put that into advertising for our originals, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, man, I'm glad to hear you say that as a fan.
Yeah.
That you put more into the originals, because it's like I often wondered if people thought that about us. Like, if you could just only spend some more time in the originals, I might be hanging out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing it now. We're just like, it's all originals all the time. Forget it. So,
but to be fair, we did have some people come in that saw us
through
our originals and through our covers, and now they have stayed for the originals. And we haven't put out a cover in over a year.
Yeah.
And it has garnered some attention, and people are getting on board.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for that ability to bring in these people and be able to give something else to them that they didn't know they were going to get from finding us.
Yeah.
It's a little icing on the cake. Some people did buy the Taco Bell pizza. Really enjoyed it. We wanted to make sure that we stuck by our values on this. And for us, our values really do lie in making sure that we present the best possible original material that we can, which means taking time to do covers would not give us that ability. It's still hard work. I mean, I work full time. I come home and I'm behind my kid after dinner.
I know.
He's working all day doing either making great original music or storyboarding these great videos or working on the advertising. It's a full-time job, which we wouldn't be able to do if we kept churning out the covers the way that we were. What were we doing? Once a month?
No, twice.
Twice a month. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, but what is
for
good,
just two people, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, I have a production crew.
So.
But yeah, we are very grateful for the people that have come in because of the covers, that have stayed around and discovered that they love what we do. That's why we do this, because we want to love it.
Amen.
Give something to people.
I respect that drive a lot, just because I feel like it is I can emulate with that, because it's just something that this is what I do, and I work a full-time job, and this is what I do in my spare time. So I think for myself, I respect your band a lot before then, but now just kind of talking with you guys and understanding, I feel like for myself I can respect your band 1,000 times more, because it's I put, my extra money into doing stuff like this, where I'm interviewing people, and I spend my weekends or any free time that I have after work or whatever doing this sort of thing. So whenever I hear a band that's spending all of their free time to do music and do something they love, I think for me, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I feel that's something that I can respect a band and really, put you guys on that list of bands that I'll support for a very long time, because it's just something that I respect as myself doing this sort of media stuff. So I can only imagine it gets a little bit crazier with a band and living life and stuff like that.
Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that.
That means a lot.
There's a video we put out kind of showing some of the behind the scenes of the making of the video for a song called War Cry.
Yeah.
But it kind of talks a lot about the philosophy that we just discussed. It's called "You Have to Be Consistent."
Yeah.
So if you go on our YouTube channel, see that. Have you seen that one? I don't know if you've seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that sort of talks about all this, and the consistency of doing it, and how you have to keep showing up.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, man. It's the hardest part about all this. It's you got to show up.
Yeah. It means doing the work.
It's not your day job, but you still got to show up to work every day.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Or every other day, whatever you can do. But I mean,
Yeah. For us, this isn't a hobby. Just like for you, what you do is not a hobby. It's a choice. It's a life you want to lead.
Yeah.
And you have to invest your time into it. You have to invest your money into it. We don't live a lavish lifestyle. I mean, our house is, we don't live in a rich neighborhood. Our house is nice, but it's certainly not huge. We don't go out to eat all the time. We're not partiers.
What are your priorities?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like, we got to stay in this weekend. We can't go to a show. So what are we going to do? Let's watch The Rocketeer and have coffee. It's eventually you reach a point of equilibrium where you realize that you don't, you can't live a lavish lifestyle if what you're trying to do is this noble artistic pursuit.
Yeah,
And
of
what
course.
we're doing, you know, you understand now, like there's a kinship among you and the bands that do have to do this kind of thing that I think is really important. And I think it brings an understanding to the majority of people who think that musicians and artists are just party animals who don't care about themselves. No, you know, this is very hard work.
That's not what it is now.
Yeah,
you know?
and it requires money and it requires responsibility. So,
yeah, you gotta grind it out. That's the, you know, that's the motto, you know. I think, like, and it's cool because, like, you know, I feel like, you know, with a lot of the bands I do interviews with, they're a little bit apprehensive, especially like if we've only talked online and we've never met before. I can understand the apprehension, but like I feel like for myself, like just doing this sort of thing for as long as I have been, I feel like for me it's like whenever I see interviews and stuff, it's like, you know, this is what this question, it's this question. And I feel like a lot of people don't kind of go out of their way to have like the conversation and to understand that like the person you're talking to is very much a human just like yourself. So like, you know, I think it's good to have that connection. Is like, you know, I try to not come off as like a fake person and like, you know, be legit. Like, you know, I really believe in music. Like even if I wasn't doing this, I would be going to a ton of shows, and like whatever extra money I'd have, I would be trying to put it into doing, you know, supporting music, because I feel like a lot of people in this like scene are all about like camaraderie and like, you know, understanding that like music is that soul thing that brings us all together. So definitely enjoy that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
That's cool.
And you know, I should say thank you for doing what you're doing, because you're obviously very real. This feels like, well, I learned something from what you said about the idea of like, you know, I'm still going to buy the album because maybe it'll lead to else. I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think more people like you need to be out there doing this, because it puts that idea in people's heads, and I think the world needs that, you know. So
awesome.
Thank you.
What's special about not only that perspective, but also the way that you would maybe conduct an interview such as this, you understand the humanity behind what goes on in this, and you understand that musicians are not a data in, data out machine. You know, you don't.
I would hope not.
Get something. It's not a vending machine. It's like, no, you know, to be in touch with that humanity, I think is very, very important. And I think, you know, other interviewers should watch your channel to understand what it means to truly connect.
We've had some interviews with, I mean, it's the stupidest, most banal question.
They weren't like video or
no, there
voice
was.
interviews.
Remember, there was.
Oh,
one
maybe it was a long time ago.
We're talking about colors.
Color's purple, in case you all need to know that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was my next question I was going to ask. So I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, but
clear.
But I also feel like, you know, even with like the reviews and stuff that I do too, like, you know, I think it's good to be objective. I feel like a lot of people out there are elitist, and, you know, I mean, people have their opinions, and that is respected. But I got one comment that I thought was hilarious, and some guy was like, he's like, "You're so nice about these reviews. Like, why do you got to be so nice? I feel like you have to be a little bit like more like gritty about it." And I'm like, I'm not, because music is subjective. Like, I can like something, you can like something totally different, but I'm not going to put my opinion on something that everybody has to know about. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to go in, if it's a record that I love, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show you with my emotions that I love this record. However, like, if I don't like one, I'm not going to say like, you know, this is the best record I've ever heard in my entire life. But I also feel like it's up to the listener to be like, maybe I do like this, maybe I don't like this. And, you know, to give that person the opportunity to think about it, rather than for me to just have my opinion and for them to be like, that's his opinion, I'm going to stick with that. And I think that that's why it's not good. You know, I feel like you're jumping.
That approach is just good journalism.
Yeah. You know, I remember we got a review in Revolver once that was lukewarm at best. And all I could was, A, this does nothing for Revolver. B, all it does is garner negative feelings in the bands that it's about that have to read. And what are you really giving to the world by slamming something? Really? No, they didn't slam us, but I'm saying, like, you know, I've seen reviews that are vicious, and I'm like, what is this giving to the world? Like, why bother?
Yeah.
But, you know,
unless it's funny.
But that rarely happens unless you're dealing with, you know, a Troll 2, kind of level of bad movie where it retains some
No,
inherent.
sometimes they're just jerks on purpose, and it's hilarious. You know what I mean?
That's true. It's a jerk in like an ironic way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're gonna reel it back in again because I feel like you guys, we were having a great conversation, so I don't want to like stop the train, but I also want to kind of keep it moving a little bit. But
Let's do it. Yeah, we'll be more concise.
we're gonna be moving into some fun territory. Much like on the level of colors, I'm not gonna ask you about your favorite color because you already answered that. But what is your favorite food to eat? What is the go-to?
Oh
Okay.
man.
I think this is kind of easy.
Yeah. So
are we gonna say it? No. What are you gonna say?
I'm okay. Listen,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pasta.
macaroni and cheese. Okay, we're both vegan, and he makes the best vegan mac and cheese I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
And I'm just like, make that. Always have that. Like
I said pasta at the same time, so
it's the same.
But
we both love pasta. But I'm gonna be very specific and say his mac and cheese because it's good stuff.
I mean,
And brownies.
Right.
We're gonna follow it up with brownies.
I know that sounds. Does that sound too pedestrian? I feel like there should have been some more.
Oh, good heavens, dear! Right now,
Yeah.
we should
I love me a good foie gras and some steak with
a chanterelle mushroom.
I'll just say this: America has basically convinced themselves that Italian cuisine is like their own.
Yeah.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, but however, within that, it's like I find a lot of movements because I'm kind of an amateur, chef. I read up on the stuff. I'm very very into cooking. But those kind of flavors I can really get into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're big fans of Japanese cuisine when we can find good vegan Japanese cuisine that's not just sushi.
Yeah.
But which is great, which we love too. But I mean, that kind of thing too. Yeah, big into that.
I love ramen,
Yeah.
and a place called Fudo Buta in South End.
Oh man, it's
Oh,
great. Yeah.
They have what's called the Niwa Bowl. Any Charlotte, people around here that are watching this, go there, get the Niwa Bowl with extra noodles.
No, the broth is just exquisite.
Oh,
I mean,
it's fantastic.
it's great, yeah.
When I go there, I'm just like, my goal is to eat until I die. Like, I just wait in ramen. So love ramen, but again, noodles. Give me noodles.
Yeah. Big noodle fans.
I feel like Randy and I are like long lost brothers because like he's also saying like he's an amateur chef and I also love cooking too. So
Right on.
I feel like we're like bonding, We're
Awesome. Well, yeah, man.
I'm very fortunate that he's a good cook, by the way, because I am a rotten cook. I've made stuff my mom's dog rejected, so.
No, totally. Like next weekend, I'm going to attempt some cheese danishes. Have you ever worked with puff pastry?
I have not, but I know you have to have it like cold. You can't use your hands or the butter will melt in the puff pastry.
Right.
We're now transferring all of audio addiction. Now it's going to be like food addiction. That's my separate side project. Will be about food.
Oh yeah, totally. But it's interesting because this particular one is just used with the vegetable fat again because of the vegan thing. But rolling it out, the whole thing, I'm stoked at the challenge of it all. That's one big thing I'm stoked on.
Yeah.
I like. I'm also, I don't know, dessert wise more of a pastry chef. I love those kind of confections. Yeah.
You have to You have to share your results with me. I'll have to.
Oh
yeah. Got it. I make a killer Linzer tart. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
And my little German heart loves them so much.
Exactly.
See, he's up for the challenge of making these cheese danishes. I'm the challenge of having to put in my face at once.
Hey, yeah.
I love food.
Yeah.
Somebody has to make. Somebody has to eat. I feel like.
I am his culinary guinea pig.
Give me your address. I'll send you some of my pfeffernuss.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, his pfeffernuss are fantastic.
Okay.
My dad, who's like from Germany, loves them. So.
There we go. We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna be food addiction. Is the next
ready.
goal.
I'm ready, man. Let's check it out.
Awesome. Next question, reeling it back in with some music-related stuff. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a guest vocalist on your next record or a producer you'd like to work with in the future, who would it be?
I got one right out the gate, David Bendeth.
Yes.
I love everything that guy, almost everything that guy touches, not just because of the super popular stuff. The Paramore's cool, yeah. I don't, that doesn't, yeah. And I know he's done a lot of Benjamin, almost all of it.
Yes.
You know, okay, which is cool. But almost everything else, like the latest Tonight, not the latest, but the one before, Tonight Alive.
Limitless.
Yes, Limitless, yeah.
That was beautiful.
They're beautiful rock songs,
Yeah.
and I feel like he dives into the songwriting more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, like, for example, the guy we worked with on our record, Survival Machines, Paul Levitt, we love the guy, and I still want to collab with him, but I'm more into songwriting than I am on the production engineering side of things, where it's like, you know, you get the tones and you press record, that's cool. But I want to have someone that really hits the song.
Yeah, David Bendeth is probably, you know, in the realm of fantastic producers. And then there's Clint Lowry.
Oh yeah, right. I would love to write with Clint Lowry, Seven Dust guitarist.
Another great songwriter. He's got this very interesting way of using these very, very strange changes.
Yeah, like he'll go chromatic in areas you're like, huh?
Yeah.
But the changes just make you a whole other vibe.
It's a study in very creative songwriting. But then you get these fantastic melodies over top, and you don't expect it to happen, because when you're listening, it doesn't strike you that it's as weird as it is. But then when you really dissect it, very, very interesting. So he's somebody that I feel like, you know, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
As far as like just other you know, vocalists, I guess Tatiana from Ginger. She's you know, I would love to see what our voices would sound like together. So, you know, Tatiana.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never been into the other musician thing, having extra musicians on our records, more than I would love. You know, the writing, I guess, is where to me the unique thing is, because it's like we have great screaming and melodic vocals already. What do we need her for? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, you know, I can handle whatever you need on a guitar. I wouldn't need to bring in someone else. I guess I would like to have someone write. Yeah. Because then it's like, then you really make something new. Yeah. Than just having someone's playing or performance.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
I like that. You are the first person that has mentioned, like, in that aspect of, like, when I ask this question, people are usually like the first, like, a vocalist or whatever, something like that. But you're the first person that has said, like, I want to focus more on, like, the songwriting, who's going to help me produce, like, a fantastic song, as opposed to just being, like, a fantastic producer or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes it's more of a money move to get a guy on your record. It's like, yeah, it'll maybe move some more units, but do you like the song?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be timeless. I like that, though.
Yes.
That was a very smart move. I like it, Randy. Really killing it.
Right on.
Awesome. Next question. You guys play a plethora of instruments, but if there was another one you could add to your list of knowledge, what would it be?
Violin for me, mainly because my dad's a violinist.
Tight.
Yeah, that would be a big one for me. I can't play a lick of violin. I'm terrible at it. Sounds rotten, but fantastic instrument. That or cello.
That's a hard question to answer. I don't know if this is a cop-out, but I guess I'm just not interested in an instrument. You know what I mean? Not saying like I can do it all, but like I feel like I have what I need. Again, it comes back to songwriting. That's what I care about at this point. I used to geek out on like, new guitars, gear, all that stuff. And it's a lot of fun getting new instruments. Having delved into the world of synthesizers, I feel like you have these soundscapes at your disposal that create whole other universes and worlds, and I know how to do that. So it's like, what else would I need to learn? But I feel like conquering a timeless song is still that mountain. So that's that. I'm going to go back to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You switched up the question on me, but I like it though.
Wait, what's that?
I said you switched up the question on me, but I feel like I like the answer still though.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't want to cop out there, but I just feel like that's the thing.
Your brain is the instrument in that case.
Well, there we go. Is that the instrument? Yeah.
There
yeah.
you go. Awesome. Next question. My personal favorite, because I'm a massive nerd, so I love asking this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Ooh. Okay. So I lately I haven't been as much of a gamer as I used to be, but believe me, it's very much in my blood. Oh yeah. If you I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this? This is a Kingdom Hearts wall scroll.
Oh yeah, I thought that's what it was. I caught I saw a hand and it has fingerless gloves, and I was like, is that not Sora? I was like, that has to be. Like in the back of my head, I keep seeing it in the peripheral, and I'm like, that has to be Sora. So I was like, and then when you mentioned the venue in Florida that has the gaming thing, I was like, I know what type of question they're gonna be excited to answer.
Okay, no, very cool. So yeah, I don't know if I could. I feel like I want to really carefully craft the answer. I definitely identify with what's going on with Sora and Roxas and that. Maybe one of those. You know who else I kind of identified with was in Final Fantasy 13. Hope.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That. I don't know if that would be the final answer though. Do you have one while I think of mine?
Okay, I have two.
Okay, good.
From Metroid.
Yeah.
Naturally, because first, badass, female protagonist in a game, sign me up, and also she rules. But also, I'm going to get metaphysical here and say I would want to be the straight Tetris block because it's the one everybody wants and is hardest to get.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That was very meta.
You get that when you see that coming down the pipeline, you're like, oh boy, I want to be that widely loved.
That was very meta.
That was really well done.
I like that. That was
Do I bow or do I curtsy?
That was a mind blown. I feel like my mind is blown now. This is the first time where I've genuinely been like that. That was it. That's the best answer. That is one of the best answers I've gotten. Easily top 5.
All right.
I don't think I could top that. I keep looking over here because there's some video games over there.
Just like a nerd mecca.
I feel you. I got. Before you jumped on, I had my Switch going, and then I have a bunch of little trinkets by my computer desk. And
right.
Little 8-bit Zelda.
Yeah.
My sister gave me this one, a Luigi.
Oh,
that's so cute.
That's cute.
Yeah, we like
Can I show you?
stuff.
Hang on, 1 second.
And then, of course, I gotta have this Pokemon. Love Pokemon.
Can you see that?
Oh yes, that's so sick. Oh
I have
man,
3 of
that's so
these.
cool.
Yeah, I have 3 of these. These came with I think didn't we discuss? I almost forgot for a second where these came from, but didn't we discover these were like a Burger King or McDonald's thing?
That's so cool.
You
It
know,
might be underneath.
I don't think it is. It doesn't say.
On the back or anything?
No, it just says Nintendo Corporation. But anyway, yeah, there's these little trophies, and
That's so cool.
badass. They've held up for years. I've had these since the '80s, Yeah, man.
We have a bunch of Nintendo boxes up there. Some really cool stuff. We have a really great Castlevania Alucard
I'm big into
figurine.
Castlevania too.
Yeah, we love Castlevania. By the way, the new Castlevania series that came out on Netflix, fantastic. Absolutely love it.
I haven't provided an answer though, and I don't want to question.
Oh yeah. You said. Hope's also really good.
Yeah, there's. I'm trying to find out whatever would represent perseverance. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. I guess I'll end it there. Because I'm not going to be satisfied with my answer.
Well, we'll come back to you, and then I will throw text up right over your face right now of your answer, because I've had so many times where people have been put on the spot, especially when doing these interviews and stuff. So then I'm like, just send me a text later on, and I'll
Oh, okay.
post.
Okay, no, very cool. Very cool.
So you have time to simmer over it a little bit.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
And marinate.
Okay. I'm ready. There
you go.
You know what? I'm looking over at Titus from Final Fantasy X. I got the Titus and Una figurine over there. What I like about him is that he was like, no, there's got to be another way to do this, and like, you know, he wouldn't, as he went along, he just didn't accept that this is what, even though I don't know if okay, maybe spoiler alert, I'm not crazy, you know, I don't give away too much stuff, but like, even though the fate wasn't what you expected or hoped, you know, as a player at the end, the whole time, their whole journey, he was like, no, there's got to be a way. I'm not just going to accept what's thrown at me.
You know, that is a great, sort of, I would say, like, tie into how you view everything. I mean, you know, we have been through some crap as a band. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
We've had members leave on tour, and of course, my first reaction is to go into a full-blown psychotic episode. But he's always been like, "No, I don't accept that this is
the end." Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
It's always seeking a different way, you know, and never succumbing to sorrow or stress or hardship.
There you go.
From Final Fantasy X. I mean, that's my answer.
There you go.
He was like, no, this is bull crap. I'm not gonna.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
I had to pull out a little bit extra. You know, I feel like if you had a little bit more time to just like simmer over it, you would.
No, thank you for giving me the time. That worked out.
It's a little extra. I like to give a little extra to that question because it's a personal favorite. But next question, guys. Some fun stuff. Getting back to the music stuff. If you could compile a dream tour, who would be on the lineup?
Ooh. Okay.
This include yourself, by the way. I feel like it should, but if you don't, I respect that answer.
It should. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
we're on tour. That was how I was framing the question in my head. I would want to take our buddy in this band called We Are the Empty.
Okay.
Do you know them?
I have not heard of them, but I'll just check them out.
Okay, yeah. From, Virginia, California, kind of goes between the two places. But right now he's just one guy, but like he's got this pretty big following online, and he writes. He's a good songwriter, and I don't know. There's something about that tour, like the idea of him finally getting on tour. Like, I know people will be like, "What? I'm there," and it would just be the excitement, and it would be awesome to be on the first one, because he's played in front of people, but I mean, like, once he brings his band together and that huge online following gets to see him live, that would be, I want to be there for that. I would love to be on that tour. You know what I'm saying? So maybe our friends in Stellar Circuits, you know, they've asked us to be on tour with them. I think that would be pretty cool.
They're such great guys. I think, it's like my first instinct is to be like, you know, oh, right in North Lane, you know, because it's like, oh, it'd be so much fun. But, like, we have these great friends we've made along the way.
Of course.
And to me, I would almost want to be out there with a family. You know, these people who we feel like we're really all in it together, and there is no divide between like the huge band and the underdogs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Stellar definitely does pretty well for themselves. Kenny and We Are the Empty does really well for himself. You know, it's not like there's this great disparity, and we're not all like, you know, digging in the dumpsters. But, you know, I think the idea of friendship is a little bit more important in like a dream tour kind of thing.
Yeah.
Our first tour was with Set Apart, and we made great friends with those guys, and we had so much fun with them. You know, we had such incredible conversations, and it wasn't just this reverence that we had for them as a band and musicians. We felt we bonded, and I think that's a lot more important.
It is cool, but if we were going to go a little bit bigger, I would say Dadwins. That would be a good pairing, I think. Because they have like a melodic theme, a hook theme, and that's where we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would work really well. I don't know if we would be on the North Lane thing. I would think there's some good crossover there.
Yes.
Yeah, do you think so? Yeah.
I would believe so. Yeah.
Okay, right on. Yeah. That, you know, a lot of the UNFD stuff.
Yeah.
Or is it unified? How do you say it?
It's unified. But I've pronunciated it like that too. So
okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna pronounce it.
Oh man, because that label that's like the new Rise Records. Like in MySpace era, Rise Records was like that was everything.
Yeah.
You know, now it's unified, and almost anyone going on there that's got the metal in the core kind of like theme. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like them in Sharp Tone Records. I feel like those two. I feel like those two are the ones that are like, I feel like Rise is kind of like mellowed out in terms of like what they do, and the bands that they've been signing have been more rock based stuff, which I think is interesting. Like they just signed Angels and Airwaves, Tom
Oh, wow.
DeLonge's project, which he's back, which is crazy. So I thought that was very interesting and something that I would have never expected him to move to. But I guess, since he was put that on the hiatus for a very long time, I felt like a lot of people maybe just think it's a new band unless you're just familiar with his work. But I feel like they've kind of like jumped out of the metal game a little bit. Fearless is still kind of in it. I think Hopeless is starting to get into like that sort of stuff. But I would definitely say like Sharp Tone and Unified, like you were saying. I feel like those two are definitely the ones that are doing more of the like metalcore, like from like the UK, Australia,
Yeah.
those sets, countries.
Some great stuff that comes
Yeah.
out of
Oh
Australia.
man, dude, the stuff from down under is just killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where some of the best stuff is coming.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next question, guys. Kind of the follow up, the Dream Tour. In your opinion, who puts on a great live show?
Ooh. Oh boy, that's a good question. We've seen such awesome bands. Okay, so
Dead air. Yeah.
crickets. Oh boy.
It's funny. Okay, here's why I'm pausing, is because I do feel on some level the art and the craft of a strong live show is changing in a way that I think people are getting lazier.
Okay. Elaborate.
Yeah, I think, and it's not just like with the stage antics, like when.
Story of the year.
Well, okay, I'll say that was great. When I saw Story of the Year, that was like, those guys had the energy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to just monkey around all the time.
Okay.
But I do feel like there's a lot more of it's okay just to kind of stand there.
Yeah, potted plant.
Yeah, and even some of
Okay.
the bigger bands we've seen kind of have been doing that. And I'm like, okay, but like we Came as Romans with Era.
Nice.
We Came as Romans definitely had that was a good show. Not just because of like the CO2 flying up in your face and
That was cool though.
yeah, no, that's.
But yeah, no, they're pretty energetic. I would say, yeah, like Story of the Year sets a good precedent for being energetic and having being really tight and having great songs. Because you can be leaping around everywhere, but if you can't handle that and playing tight, don't do it. Nothing More is very energetic.
That was cool.
They're
and
really
not
good
even
to
just because of
watch.
the big apparatus the guy has, like not just that.
Yeah,
thing,
it's compelling because there's so much passion and honesty behind not only his performance but everybody in the band.
Yeah.
I would say those two bands would make a very interesting pairing. I feel like they would complement each other very well, but their energies and how not just entertaining they are to watch, but how much it just draws you right in.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm going to say? A few years ago, we went to Carolina Rebellion. We saw In This Moment.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then Papa Roach also played.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I know Papa Roach gets such crap. I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying I like everything they put out, but some songs I think are strong. The In This Moment thing, that obviously she's all about the theatrics, huge and epic. I kind of like the energy Papa Roach brought more than seeing the costume changes and all that crazy stuff. Just because there was a conviction behind every note. They believed in themselves.
Same thing
the
with
whole
3 Days
time.
Grace.
Yeah.
They were at Rebellion too. And
I was gonna say I was thinking about them, but yeah, I mean
Mice and Men is another one that's really good.
But not that In This Moment didn't. I think they do, but just
they give something different.
Yeah. So for my energy, for the thing that I respond to, I think something like what Papa Roach did over that.
Yeah.
Is what I resonate with.
I think a strong command on stage is a lot more important than jumping around.
Of course.
And I think that can also just be the confidence with which you approach being on stage, where there is just there's no doubting yourself. So when bands like Ginger get on stage, any live performance I've ever seen footage of, and I'm excited we actually get to see them in September, low battery mode, no! Okay.
We have been talking for a very long time, so
I know.
that is understandable.
But anyway, yeah. So why don't we, in the interest of that, we can move on, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next question, guys. Another fun one. Favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Okay. Well, I can answer the favorite movie right off the gate, The Never-Ending Story.
Interesting. Okay.
I love that movie. That's a movie that I would watch and rewatch all the time. I've gained a lot of inspiration from that. Definitely my finding purpose and finding a reason to persevere. The Empress to Bastion. Why don't you do what you dream? I can't because I got to keep my feet on the ground. And she's just like, call my name. Just do it. Just jump, leap. God damn it. So that informs basically everything I've ever done thereafter. You know what I mean? Don't think about your feet don't always need to be on the ground. And then my next favorite movie is The Wizard.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
I love The Wizard. That is so
We
fun.
both do. We watch it every year.
Yeah, we do. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
It's a yearly occurrence. We're like, let's watch The Wizard and have mac and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can comment on movies.
I would say your favorite TV show is either Dr. Katz or Seinfeld.
It might be Dr. Katz or Seinfeld.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Might be probably more Dr. Katz.
Yeah, because we still watch that very frequently. My favorite movie is Annie Hall.
There you go.
I have a very dry, almost journalistic sense of humor. I like to call things out and be vaguely snarky about things. And I know there's a lot of controversy about Woody Allen, but I'm not going to take away from his artistry. I do think there was some really great stuff, and Annie Hall is a shining beacon of that. So I really love that. And my favorite TV show is Naruto, hands down.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with Naruto.
Yeah, love the Naruto. We love the Naruto.
Yeah.
There we go.
If anybody ever opens an actual Ichiraku, ramen shop, I'm going anyway.
Well, so it's funny you mentioned that. There's a place in New Jersey, I believe it's in Marlton. It's this place called Reiyaki. And they make ramen, and their whole back wall is like a bunch of anime. So it's like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. Like it's all like muraled out, and they do like boba tea, stuff like that. I'm not trying to plug them unless, like, of course, you guys want to sponsor me. That'd be sick. Just saying. But like, it's really cool. It's one of those places that I was like, one of my friends had like said like, go check it out, and I was like, this is legit. So,
awesome.
You guys come to New Jersey. Or Philly, more specifically, we'll have to get some delish ramen.
All right.
Ready.
Yeah. Like they'll have to start charging me rent. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Next question: if you were trapped on a desert island and there was one album you could bring with you for the next month, what would it be?
One album for.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go off the rails a little bit here.
Okay.
Because it's not an album that is it necessarily like informs what we do, but it's an album that I find myself not really being able to go a month without listening to, and that is Soften the Glare, a band from North Carolina. They're kind of a jazz fusion band.
Okay.
The old bassist from Mudvayne. It's his project.
Cool.
Their drummer is like the best I've heard. And I absolutely love that record. I think that there are elements of heavy in it, but it's just so interesting. But they do something that just kind of moves me, it moves the needle really well for me. And I feel like when I listen to it, I'm like in good company. So that one, I would say, would probably be my desert island, 1 month of.
I was not expecting that answer. Interesting.
Either, but I keep thinking about how,
Okay.
I start to miss that record when I'm not listening to it for a couple weeks.
And it's just a month, so that's not that. Yeah.
Exactly. I wouldn't listen to it until I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. You know what I'm gonna go with? Is a compilation a cop out?
I feel like you can go with it. I would give you the pass.
Okay. Here's why. I've got a good reason.
Okay. There you go. I like it.
Okay. Cool. So, a compilation of 80s, because if I'm on a desert island for a month, I'm going to want some freaking comfort. And what
Okay.
be of comfort than stuff that would remind me of my childhood? and and quality songwriting and those melodies, and I would study the hell out of it.
Come back even better.
You know, but I feel like I would go with that because that's something I could listen to every day, and most people can because wherever you go, you know what I mean, like in department stores, whatever. There's a little
Yeah.
That's
so it's
true.
like, and you're not like, oh, I hate this, you know what I mean? So
You're like, oh, cool,
I mean,
yeah.
if I had to hear Billie Eilish for a month, I would murder myself. But like, I would, you know what I mean? But you know, old '80s pop, man, I'm in all day.
What is it?
Okay.
Was it Richard Marx that tweeted, I go to the dentist so I can hear my songs?
Yeah.
I love it.
No. So I had a dentist appointment, didn't need any teeth, or just wanted to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
There we go.
yeah.
And on that note, guys, tell them about your band, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
Ooh.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So
It's plug time.
Facebook.com/brighter-than-a-thousand-suns. There it's a 1000. But you just Google us, you'll find us on YouTube too. Instagram at BTATSBand, BTATS Band. Instagram, BTATS Band. August 2nd, we haven't even announced this, but August 2nd, we're dropping another new single.
And video.
And video. That one's going to be heavy. We just released a song called Busy Signal, and that's doing really well. Got on some pretty big Spotify playlists, so we're stoked with that. Video's out. And we're going to be releasing singles, only singles for a while, every other month, new single, new video, all that kind of stuff. And that's where we're going.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Awesome. Well, I always love bands that are just on the grind like myself, so I gotta give some love to Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. Go check the links in the description where you can find out about the band if you enjoyed this hour-plus long interview, because I can't stop talking for some reason, so it's always good to have other people that are in the same boat and just love music in general. So go give them some love. Really, seriously, they've been a band I've been following for a good amount of time, and I feel like, you know, it was kind of a long time coming, but definitely stoked to have them on. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe, and let them know in the comments if they should do a song about butts. That's all I'm saying. Like that we're gonna round it out with that. So no pun intended. Definitely go check them out. Thanks guys for coming on. Hope to be
Thank
talking
you
with you again soon.
This was great.
Yeah.
This was so fun.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.